Hey everyone, welcome for this bonus episode of Couple Chat. Vegan prepper. Vegan prepper. Okay, so this episode is coming around because I got a private message from somebody who was extremely disappointed with the last video that we made. So this is why I'm calling this a bonus episode, is because it's kind of connected to that. So I think the message itself is such an incredibly perfect example of the very attitude that we so wish would not exist.
Yeah.
And it's the attitude, and it isn't the person. I have nothing against this person. In fact, I think that well, it is a woman. I'll just say that so that I don't like spend the rest of the time paranoid about saying they, them, whatever. But yeah, it's not her. She's actually a sweetheart. So we exchanged some messages previously. I allowed her to message me privately on Facebook. So that's the other reason I'm bringing this up, is because I have now decided to set a boundary. I won't be doing that again. So if you ever request to do like a private message to me or whatever, I'm not going to accept it. And it's just because I'm setting that boundary now. Because this was literally the first thing I saw this morning when I woke up, and it was not a very nice start to my day. And it's because, yeah, that person ended up having access to me.
Yeah. That
most people would not have had. Normally I don't see comments until I, get on YouTube, and then it's in the comments. But this was a message that came up on my phone when I was just quickly checking before I took my son to school. This is the first thing I got to read this morning. So, but kind of dissecting it and looking over it, I do want to take it line by line. And again, this has nothing to do with attacking this person. It is the pervasive attitude that is prevalent in society right now, this cancel culture. That is what I want to be addressing and talking about. And then for this person, like I said, I think she is a sweetheart. It's just, I think we kind of, she sort of personally connected to me. And then I deeply disappointed her with my views in that last video. Which I guess would be the very first thing is, don't think that you know people on the internet maybe, or don't make those personal connections to where you would be super disappointed by what somebody believes. That would be my first thought, is to make sure that we sort of take it for what it is and not take it beyond that.
Yeah. You get just a tiny sliver of who people are on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, I try to be as real as possible. I don't ever try to like pretend I'm something I'm not. But I also don't necessarily share everything. Some things I do keep private, but I did sort of let it out a little bit in that last video. But it's funny. We'll get to that. Sort of my motivations for that video. We'll get to that in a bit as I'm reading this thing. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'm just going to take it line by line. I'm not going to leave anything out because I don't want to be accused of leaving something out. I will also admit my response to her was not necessarily the nicest. It was firm. I don't think it was cruel. I did say that it was cowardly of her to say all of this to me on a message rather than just commenting on the YouTube video. It occurred to me later, only later did it occur to me that maybe she was trying to spare my feelings by doing it privately.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
But like I said, it was just the first thing I saw. I was mad. And I might not have responded in the nicest way. And I'm also going to definitely put that out there and let you guys know I'm not perfect for sure. It was like on later reflection, I realized maybe that was the reason. Maybe it wasn't cowardly. Maybe she was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. Okay. All right.
That's another problem with the internet is things that are typed have no inflection.
Right.
And no body language to set the mood for.
Right, and it's not a discourse. It's a bleh, and somebody reads it later. You know what I mean? Like that's also a problem. And it's even a problem with these videos right here. Like I'm recording this. I'm not seeing people's reactions face to face. But I feel like I really want to say that too, because it's also entirely possible that this video will come up in her suggestions, even though she's deleted me and unsubscribed. She might see it. And I want you to know, in case you're watching, that I feel no ill will towards you, but I am going to address, again, it's the attitude I feel we have to address, which is, again, one of the other main reasons we decided to do that last video, is because there's too much of that around. Too much silencing of dissenting voices. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get right into it, now that we talked for 5 minutes. All right, why... Okay, she starts off, why did you have to alienate people? Well, okay, we'll stop. Number one, that was not the goal. Actually, that was the opposite of my goal, was to try to include people in a conversation and open up a conversation. I feel like we were insanely balanced in that last video. I really do. But I feel like if you have an extreme view on either end,
you're going to interpret it differently.
You're not going to recognize balance.
Yeah.
Or any attempt to balance, you will view as like horrible.
How come you're not saying the things that I say?
Yeah.
Because we're not the same people.
Right, exactly. We have different points of view. So it was not actually my intention at all to alienate anyone.
No,
the alienation happens because a person decides, now I'm leaving.
Yes.
So they have alienated themselves.
And then the relationship can never be repaired.
Right.
Because it's gone.
So it's yet another tick like against cancel culture.
Yeah.
Which is basically the crux of the issue with cancel culture, is a severing of relationship. And now there's no...
You'd never be redeemed. No matter what.
Even if this person, but it's like whoever does the severing now has the power, and it's like, okay, but they isolate, ultimately they will end up isolating themselves. It turns into like this modern cancel culture movement. I have said before, and I still think it, I feel like it's almost like cannibalistic piranhas is how I see it. Because it's like they're piranhas and they go and like reduce something to bone and like it's over. But like one of them, you can be part of the group, and then you break some rule that you didn't know was a rule, and all of a sudden the whole group turns and now you're gone. And like you never know when it's going to turn on you. It is basically pitchforks and torches.
Yep.
In mobs going after people. It's like medieval behavior. It really is.
Survivor.
For real. Yeah. And that's how I see it. Yeah. So that was definitely never my intention. Okay. I knew that we had different opinions and views, and that didn't bother me until you decided, until I had a view that did bother her. You decided to make an entire video only of your opinions and false facts. So that's just code, I guess, for misinformation. Yes. I did get one comment that said the video was full of misinformation, and I still can't see how. I don't feel like I was laying out anything as facts.
I would like to say, if you think that we've given misinformation, please tell us specifically what that misinformation is, so that we can learn.
Like, tell me, what was the thing that I said that was 100% false?
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything that I said was hedged. That we were giving opinions, we were giving alternate views. I never said, this is the way this is. Or this, that's what I feel. But somebody says that it was misinformation. But of course, for me personally, I feel like misinformation is the cry of the mobs with the pitchforks and the torches. And now misinformation is the new witch, burn her. That's now shut it down, get rid of it. Yeah. Misinformation is the excuse to censor. Now. Yeah.
Instead of let's discuss this so that we can both grow and learn.
Right. Because there's no
say it's misinformation and then cancel.
Right. Exactly. Right.
You guys don't know us personally, but we've gone through this process of growth over the last few years, where myself specifically, I went from being a down home country boy hunter to a vegan. Because I learned new information.
Yeah.
And this happened relatively quickly when I got new information. We are at this point where we've come to the realization that we might be wrong about stuff. And being in that place is a wonderful place to be, knowing that we could possibly learn something today that would change our lives forever.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with going vegan. We got some new information and it changed our lives forever. And that one choice opened up our minds to the fact that we might be wrong about everything.
Right.
There might be stuff that we don't know right now that will change how we live tomorrow.
Right.
So we are interested in that information. We're interested in learning and growing and changing our mind about anything that we think about. We want to know if we're wrong. We want to know if we have been going the wrong direction.
Right.
And so many people right now are existing in the mindset that they are right about everything. And if you're right about everything, you'll never learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never grow. You'll never change. You'll never become a better person because you have achieved everything already. Mm-hmm. You are now the best person that you will ever be because you know everything.
Unteachable.
Unteachable, yeah. And I mean, if you've ever been trying to teach somebody who's unteachable, it's the most frustrating thing in the world. So yeah, we're not like, what we're saying right now is the end all of end all. Please tell us.
Yeah, I would love to know the very specific example. Yeah, I'd love that. But like, yeah, it's just, it is, you're right. It's completely interesting to be living inside of that. But of course, they don't know that. They don't know anything about the way that we were just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's coming up on 4 years, I think, that I've been vegan. And then you went vegan very shortly after.
It's been 3.5 years for me.
So it's like, yeah, and in that whole thing, like, people, they set up their fort and they're going to defend their side or whatever. And it's like, I feel like I am very much on the fence when it comes to so many issues. But I feel like, honestly, I say that it used to be something that I would say stuck in my own side. And I would say that was a bad thing to be. But for me personally, now I feel almost like it's a badge of honor for me to be on the fence, because that takes a real balancing act. That's like considering every side, looking at everything, and then, you know, certain things, I'll lean more this way. Certain things, I'll lean more this way. But you can't, it's the certainty.
Yeah.
The certainty bothers me. And the certainty in this, the certainty of the dogma of society, that bothers me deeply, because you have a person who's completely certain, they become unteachable.
Yep. And
anyway. All right, sorry. So, okay. Decided to bother making a video only of your opinions and felt, well, okay, so it's our opinions. So it's not necessarily right. It's just what we think. We're not trying to say this is the way it is at all. But, you know, to create discourse. Do you want to be in an echo chamber, or do you want to hear, you know, opposing views? Are we going to grow as people, or are we going to sit in our camp and in our fort or whatever? And anyway, false facts, as if any of those thoughts are original or interesting. We kind of talked about that. I feel like a lot of our thoughts are pretty original.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people, I don't know that there's very many people on Earth that think the way that we think. We have so many different life experiences. Also, I feel, I'm not 100% sure, but just from her picture, I think she's a very young person, is the other thing. And I think the older you get, that just naturally, you're 40. Not that I'm saying that we're old, but we're not in our 20s, okay? I'm almost 38. I'm about to turn 38. I have a birthday coming up very soon. So, we've seen some things. We have a lot of experience. A lot. Richness of experience in both of our lives. Suffering in both of our lives in various ways. True suffering, not just like stuff that people say is hard. Anybody on earth would say the things that we've been through are hard. Individually and together as a couple. Some things we've been through. And it just colors our experiences. It colors our opinion. The points of view, the opinions get colored by that life experience. And if you want to understand a person's point of view, you have to understand the person. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I'll come back to that. The people It's the person is so important.
Yep.
Person is important. And this person is very important. Again, this is not an attack on this person. I'm just it's just like, it was so like almost like a bullet pointed list of that stuff that's in society right now.
It's such a bummer because we just don't have, having been canceled, we have no opportunity to continue to grow together.
Right. And I don't really care about being canceled. Honestly, I'm not like, so if I were terrified of that, I wouldn't ever say what I think.
No, it just makes me sad because we don't ever have an opportunity to converse with that person again, to get their knowledge, and it's a loss.
Yeah. You know? It's a severing of the relationship. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. So, I think our thoughts are pretty original. I also think we're pretty interesting.
I hope so.
Oh gosh. I mean, I think you're interesting.
I think you're interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let me see. Why would you do this? Just because I think it's really important to put another voice out in the world, because what we say is not what's out there.
Yeah.
So
different
actually, on any side, you might think we're on this side. Honestly, we're not. Anytime you think we are on this side, I almost guarantee you we're not.
Yeah.
You cannot pin us down, okay?
Kind of on our own side.
Believe me, like that was so funny. One of the comments in the last video was that lady that said that she had falsely profiled me because I'm vegan and I have my little nose ring, and she thought that I was like really far on the left, you know, because of those two things. And yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. She's like, wow, like I didn't think that you would have those views on freedom. And yeah, I absolutely do.
It's terrifying.
Freedom.
In a lot of ways.
Well, freedom is incredibly important, but I also recognize I got blasted too. Freedom doesn't mean that you can, something about selfishness. I don't know. I don't remember the other comment. The negative comment that I got. And I will want to clarify right now that freedom cannot exist without personal responsibility. Yeah. And I believe also that it would be impossible. This is my personal belief. This is my opinion. I don't want to sound your misinformation. It's my opinion that personal responsibility en masse is not even possible in a society that is not free. Yeah. If you have borders and people legislating you and telling you, you know, exactly this and how many squares of toilet paper to use when you wipe your butt or whatever it is that they want to like delve into next. If you are controlled and told your whole life exactly, you know, the government could become like a helicopter parent. We've heard about the helicopter parenting phenomenon, right? Where like kids can't even go to college without their moms and dads following them and like yelling at their college professors about their kids getting bad grades and stuff. And like you create a person who's incapable of taking care of themselves and doing things for themselves if you do like the helicopter parenting thing. And that's like what people are trying to get the government to do to us now. And the more taken care of a person is, the less capable they become. Yep. So yeah, freedom is freedom, but it's like there's a personal responsibility in that freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to not harm people.
It's not freedom to do whatever you want, because sometimes doing what you want is not positive.
Right.
I mean, if you think freedom is sitting around and playing video games all day, then your life is not going to look amazing when you're 40, you know?
Yeah.
So I have freedom, so I go run.
Right.
So that I feel good when I'm 40. And,
right.
But yeah, you have to make positive choices in your life still.
Right, and do our best not to harm people.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not which I know people would say, well, then why not this? You know, so that I know it's just it goes. There's many things that we can talk about there, but the mandate is what we're against. Let's be very clear on that. Like we were talking about
against the shot.
We are against the mandate.
We are not for the shot. We are against telling people they must have it.
Right. That's what we're against.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
If you feel like you want to get it, please go get it. If you feel like you don't want to go get it, please don't go get it.
Right. Because it's like the whole certainty thing too, where people are not even willing to entertain the possibility that the shot does harm people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it does en masse or anything.
We don't know.
But neither does COVID, okay? Like, let's be really real. That's not misinformation. That's numbers direct from the CDC.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people are fine. We had it. We were fine.
Yep.
Okay? And I'm not saying that everybody is fine by any means.
No.
But
Tons of people have gotten extremely sick and people have died.
yes. But the vast majority don't. So you would say for the vaccine, the vast majority don't have an issue.
Correct.
But some do. So I don't understand why that doesn't go both ways. So mandating something that could harm people is, yeah, it's just anyways, screwy to me that it doesn't go both ways. And then if you have an issue with that particular point, I guess let us know down below the exact figure that you have or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, it's not our intention to spread false facts or misinformation or whatever. It's just, this is like, I feel like looking at it logically, ultimately, even if it is perfectly safe and it harms no one, I'm still against the mandate. Still 100% against empowering the government to tell people what they must put into their bodies in order to live their lives. And if a person can't see the long-term, potentially horrific implications of empowering the government to do that in our lives, then I don't know that there's a way to talk to them. Just hopefully, sort of figure itself out. I don't know. Anyway, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to get so when we aren't even.
I hope it doesn't take people seeing a significant loss of freedom for them to realize the mistake.
Right. What they have lost.
The hope is that we figure it out before the mistake is made.
Yeah. I keep actually wanting to make a video because, like, my fear of totalitarian government too. So people say, oh, it's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it's not just like an idea. It's a reality in our family, in my side of the family, that I have people who survived both Russians and Nazis on one side of my family who were actually liberated from Auschwitz, number one, not number two. Number two is Birkenau, which is a very famous Auschwitz where over 2 million Jewish people were killed horrifically. Auschwitz number one was from my family, were the Polish Catholics. It was over 950,000 Polish Catholics were killed at that camp. And that is the one where my family was. And prior to that, that same family had been rounded up by Russians and taken to Siberia. My Jaju, my grandfather, was actually born in a gulag in Siberia. And my family escaped. It's a harrowing tale. It's an incredible tale. So you understand, this is why I grew up with this. It took them over 2 years to cross the border from Siberia back into Poland because they were on foot and they were hiding. There were times where they were so afraid to be found. They wouldn't even light fires. They would catch birds and eat them raw in order to survive that. They got back into Poland. I'm not 100% sure on all the timeline, but then they got rounded. That was about, I guess, when the Nazis went through, they got rounded up and taken over to Auschwitz number one. And they also lived through, before they got rounded up, they lived through horrific times, scrounging in the cities for food, hiding, having to go out, scrounge for things, come back before they got rounded up, taken to camp, liberated here. So for me, this isn't like it's not like a made up maybe thing. This is like a thing that literally happened to people in my family who are still living, still remember and know this experience. So to me, the idea of empowering a totalitarian regime, whatever side, whatever it looks like, that's why I'm saying it doesn't matter what side they're on. Power is power. You do not empower the government to take away the freedoms of the people. You just don't. Never. So like that, I guess maybe is a little bit of a snapshot view into why I personally am so like abso-freaking-lutely not ever empower the government to do that. And I'm not like just trying to be dramatic. I'm not trying to do a mic drop or anything like that. I think a lot of times people do stuff like that and like mic drop. And now they want to walk away because there's no argument.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. But I'm trying to say, like, this is a window. Again, understand the person. It's a window into my point of view. And yeah, I can't imagine ever changing my point of view on that. Like you talked about, we can change points of view. I honestly don't know that I could ever possibly change that. But this is real. This is a real thing that really happened to people who are still alive and remember it. So anyway, okay, sorry. Okay, why would you do this? Because I think it's important for many reasons, including the little story I just shared. The little story, that was actually, gosh. I think of that so often too, though, like whenever I complain or I'm having a hard time and I just think, oh my gosh, this is what I'm made of. I'm made of these people. And the truth is too, all of us are made of people like that.
Yep.
Every single one of us, even if you don't have a story like that in your background, you are made of people like that. You are. Right there, sitting there watching this, you are made of strong, incredible, surviving power stuff. Do you know how I know that? It's because you are here. None of us got here without at some point, some ancestor, somebody going through something and surviving something in order to that, you know, all of us are here. So that's you right there, sitting right there. Even if you don't have that story in your background, if you think, gosh, I wish I had a story like that, be inspired by any story of survival because we are all made of that stuff. All right. Okay, so it's fascinating. It's a fascinating gamble to bring opinions into your business because you grossly limit your clientele seems like a poor business decision to me. 100% agree. 100% agree with that. But this is not a business. It's not, I mean, obviously I would love to make an income from this, but the reason I'm doing this is to help people. Yeah. That's the reason I chose the name Vegan Prepper. That's the reason I chose that name, even though I knew it was going to alienate people, to identify myself as a vegan rather than to just be kind of like backdoor, just like, you know, under the table.
Vegans aren't very popular in the world.
We are not
FYI.
Popular at all. I have had people like quote verses at me when they find out that I'm vegan at church, like they're trying to exorcise a demon. You know, like,
it's like, dude, I'm studying chicken. Chill out.
I just like all I did. I'm not trying to say anything. I just ask, is there egg in it? Like you know, like it's just like the most ridiculous thing. So it's not popular, but the reason I did it was not because I was winning a popularity contest or hoping to, but because of the fact that I remember when I first started and I started Googling things like vegan prepping. That's why I tag every one of my videos with vegan prepping, because I was looking for it. All that would pop up was vegan meal prep. So people doing like meal prep for their week. That's not what I'm talking about. YouTube, I want vegan prepping, like prepping for vegans. And so then I was like, you know, there's a real need for this. And so that's why I made the channel.
Yeah.
And that's why I named it that. I almost wanted to name it Conscious Prepper because I wanted to talk more about like philosophical stuff, but then I was like, no, I'll stick with Vegan Prepper because I feel like that's like kind of the nitty gritty that people need. So no, like it's a very poor business decision. I think it was a poor business decision even to name it Vegan Prepper, but it's like, if I make money off of this, that will be a bonus.
Yeah. My
heart is to help people.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is. Honestly, it is. My gosh. All right. You grossly limit your clientele. Yes, 100% agree. Just for clarity, so that you don't try to write me off. And also for clarity on my part, I wouldn't write anyone off. I'll listen to anyone. I'm not going to write anyone off. Because it's the person. You understand the person.
Yep.
It's so important. I'm not one of your trolls. I believe that. She was amazing. And she still is. I was one of your biggest fans who'd watched multiple videos multiple times and let the commercials play out because I understand how money is made. We don't make any money. We haven't made a single penny off of this.
No money has been made on this.
No.
It's only cost us money.
Right.
So.
YouTube, if you get a certain number of views, YouTube will start putting ads in your videos, but you have to get even like way further, like way beyond before you yourself can earn money. So some of my videos come up with ads, but I don't make any money off of those ads.
No, YouTube does. We
don't. So just so far, no, we don't make anything.
True.
Anyway, okay, I understand how money is made. Okay, but I appreciate that. I appreciate the thought. See, she's really
that's
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have introduced many people to your channel, and I'm constantly recommending it to people who would appreciate your food storage and herbal videos. Again, awesome. Thank you. Well, no more and never again. Okay, awesome. Okay, that's awesome too. Okay,
it's your
everybody
choice.
Does. Yeah,
you
everybody
are
does.
free to not watch our videos,
and also to not recommend us. That's fine. I've unfollowed your channel, deleted any comment I've made praising or recommending your channel, Okay. And you won't ever make a penny off of my views again. Again, we haven't made anything yet either.
Yeah.
So we still haven't. We're very
we do
small.
really appreciate
we have like
the thought, but yeah.
Yeah, we have what is like 1.69 subscribers. It's an inside joke in my house because one time I told my son I have like 1.52 subscribers and he was like, "What? 1.52 subscribers?" I was so excited because like it had jumped again. And he was looking at me. I'm like, he goes, you have less than less than 2 subscribers. And I realized that I didn't say the 1,000. So we still joke. Every time I get a jump, it's like I have more than 1, but less than 2. It's still a joke in our house. So anyway, I have a very small subscriber base compared to, a lot of channels. I don't make any money.
Yep.
At all. Okay. I won't even go into your quote unquote theories about healthcare because what's the point and you're entitled. You say you think maybe she's saying I'm entitled to my opinion.
That's how I read it.
I was thinking she was saying I'm entitled somehow. Because I've also heard that as a thing that gets thrown out at people. But anyway, we're going to go with Adam's thought that she's saying I'm entitled to my opinion. And again, there's no specifics. What theories on healthcare?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't even know. So again,
if we're wrong about something,
yeah, tell us
specifically what it is.
Tell me. I will take a moment and give you a civics lesson that you seem to so desperately need. Oh, because I mentioned free speech. And this is one where I'm like, did she watch the whole video? The First Amendment protects your right of free speech from government, not from private business, but from government. So as much as you want to make it stretch to private business, it just doesn't. I'm pretty sure if I didn't say it, I alluded to it. That, because I swear it was like the government with the Constitution, but private businesses still operate in America. How did they deny me my constitutional rights? Operating in America, the government is supposed to uphold my constitutional rights. How are private businesses exempt from that? And I didn't say it that clearly, but in the other video, I was like, they operate in America. And that's what I was meaning to say, is that I understand that this is the excuse right now that private business doesn't have to uphold the Constitution. They don't have to operate within constitutional law, which is just like, again, this is like another whole can of worms that we might open up, but it's like, how? Doesn't the Constitution also guarantee rights? You can't be discriminated against? So like, would a private business be able to discriminate against people?
Apparently they are. Yes, they are. So
they don't allow certain people to speak. But the Taliban, go ahead, have a Twitter account. You go right ahead and tweet the crap out of stuff. Taliban, good old Taliban. We just want to hear everything that you have to say. Okay. Anyway, it's just like, oh man, do not even. Okay. So, okay, for the government, yeah. So I honestly, that's kind of a question that I have is how can private business deny me a right? I don't understand that. Yeah. So that's like me questioning because I don't understand. Like why are they allowed to deny people their rights? So anyway, so that's what I said. Okay, so perhaps you should take a moment and you actually read and comprehend the words written instead of regurgitating nonsense. So that, oh, this is the part that made you really mad.
Okay.
All right. It made me pretty mad too. This was honestly part of the reason why I was not so nice with my response. I remember this now, being super pissed about this part. Full disclosure, full transparency here. I was really mad about this. It takes a lot to get me mad. I'm not the kind of person who flies off the handle. But when I get mad, I get mad. Anyway, okay. Actually read and comprehend the words written. And so I guess she's talking still about the free speech thing, which I think that was just a misunderstanding that she didn't understand. I already know that. Anyway, instead of regurgitating nonsense. So that is funny to me because that implies that I'm just saying what other people say. And again, I don't think I do.
I don't really listen to what other people say. So.
I don't think I do that. I think that I'm kind of stuck in my own little corner where I just have my own little thing and like there's literally nobody on earth who just like agrees with me. Oh gosh. So I don't feel like I'm regurgitating anything because the thing is if I were regurgitating anything, I'd be regurgitating everything because I listen to everything. I don't just listen to, I do because I care about learning all of the views and making my choice. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So, okay, so that you can pander to, this is the one that made me really angry. And then it's because of the attitude. It's that piranha thing again. Oh man. Pander to the lowest common denominator of our society. Just because you think it's going to get you more likes and views. Again, there's no part of me that thinks I'm getting more likes and views for any of this. Like,
this is not the high school student council.
See, this is the thing.
We're not this in no way. We expect this to be a popularity contest. Not even the slightest bit.
Not even remotely. I'm like the kid from the audiovisual club trying to run against the cheerleader or whatever. So anyway. Oh gosh. How do I even begin to unpack that? So for the whole, because I think it's going to get me more likes and views. Honestly, even making that video, I felt like I might be shooting my channel in the foot and killing it before it ever gets off the ground. But again, I did it just because it just sort of feels important to speak and say the things so that the things are said. Yep. So that, because with this idea of government mandate looming on the horizon, am I going to go quietly into the night and not say anything so that eventually all of the unvaccinated plague rats or whatever are rounded up and sent into camps? And everybody's like, oh, that could never happen. Did you realize, again, I have very personal history with some of this stuff, and these ideas are very personal to me. It's not just a figment of imagination. It's like a literal reality that has happened, and it has happened recently in memory of certain people. Am I going to stay quiet because I'm afraid it's going to kill my channel? Or am I going to say something so that people know that there are people who dissent and do not agree with the idea of government mandates? And again, that's what we're against. We are against mandating, empowering the government to decide what goes in people's bodies. That's what we're against. But yeah, let's address that lowest common denominator comment.
Yeah.
That makes
the
me
idea
mad.
that when someone disagrees with you that they're less than you is a real problem.
Yeah, that's the attitude.
That they are less valuable than you, they're less important, that their opinion matters less, their rights matter less, is a significant issue. It's a significantly scary issue, that taking a certain group of people who have an idea and saying that they are not valuable anymore, it's wrong on so many levels.
Yeah.
It's wrong because people are valuable because they are valuable. Regardless of who they are, regardless of what they think, they are valuable, precious human beings that have been designed by God in a specific way. They are valuable. They are not the lowest common denominator. And to say that they are less because they think differently is horrible.
It's the beginning. It's the start.
Yeah.
Again, I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm just saying this, again, with the understanding, this is my history. This is why I'm so strong on this point above almost anything in my life. I feel more strongly about this than almost anything. And yeah, you cannot begin to think less of people, especially when it's a self-righteous thing. I am so right and I am so certain that this person is less than me because they're different in some way, whether it's their religion, like it was for the Jewish people or whatever. Like one thing that you can say about the Nazis is they hated everyone equally.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if you were Jewish or Catholic or gay or one of the Romani people or whatever. They just killed everybody who wasn't like blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Aryan race or whatever. They hated everyone. But the thing is, what happened there was real people like you and me, people like just regular people, were slowly convinced by propaganda that this group of people is less than this group. And then eventually, I'm sure that what it was people were afraid of crossing that government. Once it became so empowered, it's a disconnect thing too. It's disconnected from the people, from the person. I'm going back to what I said, like with the person. The person is so valuable. You cannot devalue a person because of a difference, whatever difference that is. Whether it's opinion or religion or sexuality or skin color or whatever, place of birth or height, weight, hair color, whatever. Like you cannot devalue a person. They have intrinsic value, right? Certain inalienable rights endowed by their creator. Now, of course, we are Christians, and I believe every person is image of God. Image of God. Every single person is so valuable. And it's like many years ago, I heard a quote that completely, again, just totally changed my view. Not that I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. I'm growing and changing every single day. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm, some paragon of virtue or anything. I'm certainly not. But there is one thing that I have, I think, is a value of people and their autonomy, their freedom. But the quote was, the problem with equality is that we only want it with those greater than ourselves. And I remember hearing that quote and just being like and thinking about all of the times that I've had like judgmental feelings towards somebody or whatever, but then you want to be like the people that you think are better than you, or the people that you think have it better than you. You want to have equality with them, but do you want to be equal to the homeless person? Do you want to be equal to the prisoner? Do you want to be equal to, like whatever, somebody who's anti-vax? By the way, we are not anti-vax. Just in case it's not clear enough, we're not. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like that's like that now. It's funny how it just shifts. There's always a reason people want to get into their tribes. It's one of the things that, like, I listen to Canadian Prepper a lot. I do not agree with him on a lot of the things that he says. That's true. But I definitely value his viewpoint. He talks about this. Like, people, they're just like tribal. You remove the veneer of society and people are just awful. And I think it's true. Yeah. You start removing that. People want to be tribal. They want to have their little group. They want to be in their little certain group of people where they feel secure, going after the people that are different from them until they themselves, again, just sort of break some rule they didn't even know. And that's what's so problematic right now about this internet cancel culture thing, is you never know. And there's people who used to cancel people who are getting canceled themselves again because they like broke some rule that they didn't know there was. And It's just crazy. Like, where does it stop? Hopefully it stops with more people speaking out. But somebody wants to call, and again, it's not this person, it is the attitude. It's the pervasive attitude that so many people have. I am against the attitude, not the person. And the attitude that calls a person that disagrees with you the lowest common denominator is something that I will stand against forever. You will not devalue a person because they think differently from you, ever. Not in my presence. I may be vegan, I still have teeth, okay? And I can get testy if I need to. Feel like, that's when I get testy a lot of times. When I feel like I need to defend somebody, I can get pretty bad. But anyway, well, I hope you like all of your new fans. I'm sure I would. I like my old ones. I honestly still like her, Yeah. She, like I said, she's super sweet. I don't know if we're going to get any fans. I don't know if this is going anywhere now. It might be dead now. We might have just killed it, but I can't, again, I can't go quietly into the night. I have to say something. Because you're driving anyone of substance away.
Sorry, anybody remaining.
Sorry, anybody who's here, you are not a person of
You're
substance.
void of substance.
You are the lowest common denominator, and you have no substance.
High five.
Yay!
I think it's interesting, just as a side thought, as vegans, we have chosen to protect animals because we feel they have value.
Yeah.
They have feelings. They are important. And to not apply that to people is pretty strange.
Yeah. It's like all animals, right? Not just dogs and cats.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I will tell you too, just like as another thing, and I'm not trying to make anyone feel guilty about anything. Again, see, being vegan prepper, this is not going to win us any brownie points with anyone. But yeah, like memes that come up with a picture of the poor little sad dog. And it's like, stop animal cruelty. It should say, against dogs.
Yeah.
You know, people are really up in arms over the treatment of dogs and cats. And it was like stuff like that. And it hurts my heart, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think there are others out there that need help as well.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to, it's just information. Like, I don't even, like you said, Hunter, all that. Like, I'm not against, I don't know. I'm not against anyone. And I have said I'm Christian. So I'll say, you know, like in the Bible, I definitely believe it. It says our war is not against people. It's against powers and principalities. It's basically the evil, right? The ideas and the evil. And that's what I'm combating here is the, I don't know. I feel like it is an evil, pervasive attitude that just wants to devalue the people that disagree.
It's destructive.
And yeah, I'm not cool with that. So I will say it, even if no one ever watches me again. I'll say it so that it's said. Who knows? YouTube will take it down. I don't know. Who knows? But the Taliban, they're fine. They can say whatever.
Yeah,
you know, they can tweet all they want. Oh my gosh.
Does the Taliban have a TikTok?
The hypocrisy. I don't even know. I can't even fathom the world that we live in where this is the reality that we live in. Anyway, but as an aside, and I want to go ahead and close, this is getting really long and we have things that we need to do for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A book that really helped me in my life is this book, The Four Agreements. So now again, I might be alienating people because this is not a Christian based book, but if you have, issues or problems, this is kind of addressing too, like I said, this person, I feel like she was kind of personally hurt by the fact that I was different than she expected and things like that. Like something like this is very helpful because like we talk about prepping a lot on this channel, obviously, because I'm a vegan prepper, and one of the ways that we can prep really well is to prep our mental and emotional life to interact with and you know, speak with others and I don't know, just retain, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just be good people, and then also to be secure in yourself and to not be swayed necessarily by people's opinions of you. I think so many people, if we could just be secure, we would be less threatened by other ideas. Because like, for instance, I don't feel like I need to convince anybody about what I think. Like, I don't need to convince you to agree with me because I don't need to convince you to agree with me to make me feel like my views are valid or like I gain. Sorry, I'm doing it. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. My value is not based upon a person's agreement with me. I guess maybe that's what it is that my value is myself. And I understand that other people, it doesn't have anything to do with me. It has to do with what other people feel. So this book helped me so much. I've read it multiple times. And again, it's not a Christian based book for anybody who really like that really matters to you. But it just helped me so much. I've read it probably 7 times at this point in my life. And every time I read it, I get a new thing out of it. And so I really heartily recommend this for your own emotional and mental health and interaction with other people. So anyway, I guess that's it. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So everyone, always, everyone, for real, I really mean it. I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful.
Please comment and say things.
Comment, yes.
Don't just leave.
And if you have an issue, yeah, be specific maybe, and we'll try to, you know, have an actual discourse.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, all right. See y'all later.
Yeah.
Bye.